You're listening to a Mash Those Buttons podcast. Visit mashthosebuttons.com for a full podcast schedule.
Cargo secured. Extraction complete. Intelligence System Analytic Computer is activated. All ISAC systems are confirmed online. Data scanned. Downloading files.
What's up, guys? You're listening to episode 101 of SITREP Radio, giving you the news and other happenings in the world of the Division. This week we have news on Update Strawberry, a.k.a. Update 1.8. But first, my name's Mike, and joining me are my co-hosts, Robert.
Hello.
And Luke.
Hello.
We hope you guys have had an awesome week, and welcome to any new listeners of the show. Right over to you, Robert.
If you play on PC and you're looking for some great deals, go check out Humble Bundle. We have a affiliate link if you want to purchase anything and use that, and then we get a kickback, and so do the charity of our choice. Also, they're giving away a free game this week. Well, it's only for a couple of days, I think. It's called Spec Ops: The Line. I haven't played it myself, but it's supposed to be quite good.
Plus, it's free.
And yeah,
why wouldn't you pick it up? Exactly.
Enough said.
Thank you for that, Rob. Before we do start, I just want to say thank you to Cal Streams and Sage from Bombshell Jackets for joining us on last week's episode. We had an awesome time with them. They're a good bunch of people, so thank you very much for joining us on our 100th episode, and we hope to catch up with them in a future episode as well. Hopefully they'll come back and join us. Also, guys, I don't know if you heard anything when we were watching the state of the game today.
No. Maybe.
Well, we kind of got like a shout out.
Petter said our names. So excited.
Luke?
I'm too busy laughing at Rob, dude.
Yeah, we just want to thank Petter and Yannick for the congratulations they gave us on the state of the game this week for hitting out 100 episodes. That was pretty cool. So thank you from myself, Luke. And
we beat them to it. Because they're on like
95. We did.
Yannick seemed a bit chewy about that, but yeah.
Shouldn't have took that break in between, what was it, 1.3 and 1.4.
Yeah, maybe.
We were still going.
Yeah.
That was when it was. To be fair, I thought they were going to do that August just gone, because they disappeared for 6 weeks on holiday, like a mandatory holiday, didn't they? But they didn't take it this year. Or at least they would cover it. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the start of the show. Let's get straight into some news. So the biggest news of the week for the Division is we finally have a release date for Update 1.8 Strawberry. Update 1.8 will be released on a Tuesday. No, sorry, a Thursday. Thursday the 12th of April. Luke, what were your precise words at this earlier?
What the hell are they doing releasing an update on a Thursday? Are they trying to screw with our heads?
That's a maintenance day. What are they doing?
It's not allowed. We always know when the updates are going to be. It's always a Tuesday. They even said it themselves when they told us they weren't allowed to tell us when the update 1.8 was dropping. They were like, going to be before this date and after this date. And we always drop an update on a Tuesday. And then everybody was joking that Yannick was going to get fired, and he never did, obviously. But yeah, just don't change the update day now. I can't handle it. It's not good. I don't like it.
After 2 years. Yeah. After 2 years.
I think it's
breaking the mold.
The special like GE thing has thrown them all out of whack, because they've done like some weird maintenance times as well, haven't they?
Anyway, what have we got coming in Update 1.8, Luke?
Well, first of all, you keep calling it Update 1.8, so I need to correct you, because there's another one on there somewhere.
We just call it Strawberry, because 1.8, 1.1 is like a mouthful. That's what she said.
I was
waiting for Mike to say it. Anyway, back to business. We get 2 new legendary missions, Amherst Apartment and Grand Central Station. We get 2 new global events, Blackout and Onslaught, which unfortunately none of us have played on the PTS, so we have no clue what they're about, so that'll be nice and fun.
Well, wait, the only thing I can think of with that is like we're coming into that fresh because we missed it by, what was it, a couple of hours playing Blackout, and we didn't get a chance to play Onslaught at all. So I'm looking forward to trying those out live.
Yeah.
With some other news we got this week. The GEs are starting again.
Oh, yeah. If I keep reading the script, it tells me what to say, doesn't it? Yeah.
Rip.
So Global Event 5 Blackout will start shortly after the patch is dropped. And Onslaught, which is Global Event 6, will drop sometime in May. And then, like Mike said, all the GEs are going to start all over again. So, yeah, I know what I'm talking about.
Like they were supposed to.
101 episodes, and it goes to shit. I say it goes to shit after 101. I don't know why it's like
Sorry, make that joke every week.
What? Yeah,
It's gone to
maybe.
shit.
But the other big news, which I meant, was actually over with Rob.
Yeah, you jumped the gun, dude. That's what fucked Luke up. It's your fault.
Well, technically, I was like, that we'll hear about later.
You didn't say that.
Can I read the script?
Sorry.
Finally, the new drop rate change of classified and division tech is coming to the game. Yeah! More loot raining from the sky. Lovely. And the Xbox One patch will finally be implemented. Who cares?
I can think of one person that does care.
Not me. Awkward pause.
Oh,
who cares? Petter? Because he doesn't have to read that. He doesn't have to say, "Oh, it's not coming out yet."
I guess. But I mean, come on. It's good. Is it going? Are we going to see it more in line with the PC version? Do you reckon, Rob?
No. No.
Well, yeah, not completely on par, but you know what I mean.
It'll be close.
Just not close enough,
No,
right?
you can't use a mouse and a keyboard.
If I'd have gone back about a year and a half, I would never have heard this from Robert. PC Master Race person.
What can I say?
But yeah, that's
I'm
pretty much.
Well, there's also a known issue with the fast mover accommodation. They know about it. They're working on it. Stop whinging about it.
Robert.
I've never once wished about that. I've got that accommodation. It didn't bug out for me.
But yeah, that is the main news for the Division this week. However, we do have some other minor topics to discuss because I don't know if anybody else.
They're not minor, really, are they?
They're not minor. They're actually quite impactful for the future of the Division and Ubisoft as a whole. The first one is how live games have changed the Ubisoft development process. If you head over to, I think it's on Ubisoft main news page, you can check out an article that they had over there. But just a quick quote from that. Launching a game is only the beginning. It's been a very big shift from the way we used to ship and manage games to live services. That also meant a big shift in our production teams, the way we used to ship games, the way we used to build games, and that was not necessarily adapted to the kind of constant updates and constant content releases that we've seen from games. Obviously, we've played the division for the last 2 years and seen it supported for the last 2 years with regards to continuous updates. How do you guys feel this process is going at the minute? Rob, I'm going to go to you first.
I generally think this is the way forward for games because everyone gets attached to games and they just want more content from said games. It's kind of a clever move by Ubisoft to do this, and it'll probably make them more money in the long run. So
by sticking by with a franchise a lot longer.
I mean, they've kind of done it, but instead of moving from like game to like, because they've done it for years, they've built on franchises, but like just made extra games on them franchises. They're just moving it from extra games to just supporting said games for a longer period, which is great, in my opinion. Especially with Division 2 coming out.
Yeah, I agree with Rob. I think it's a great idea.
I mean, I thought about this earlier. Like, we haven't had a lot of chance to play other games because we've been playing the Division constantly for like the last 2 years. with some breaks in between. So now, with a little bit of a downtime between the updates, we're trying out Rainbow Six Siege. And I remember playing the beta of that 2 years ago. Probably had the same opinion as some people had of The Division, with 3 years ago. Sorry, apologies. And people probably had the same opinion that, we had with The Division, or they had with The Division, with regards to, no, it wasn't that great on release and this, that, and the other. But look at the game now. It's an esport, and they've continually added content on a monthly basis. There's an event going on now, Outbreak. There's new operators being added. They've got a PTS going. Luke?
I was just going to put in there, what you saying about operators, they announced that they want to support it for 10 years, didn't they? And their target is to get up to 100 operators.
Wow.
That is awesome. Yeah. Well, look at Overwatch. That's another company that is, Bungie. They've just announced today there's going to be another, well, I say announced, there's been a slight reveal of another character come into the game. There's how many characters? Like 30 characters in that game at the minute. But this seems to be like affecting everything. For anybody that's just picked up Far Cry, and you look at
the roadmap
season
for that.
pass,
it's insane.
I can't believe, and if that is the support that they are getting for a game now, what are we going to get for The Division? Because The Division is like, to me, it's an MMO RPG, and I know we've discussed it on here before. Like, we want to see that game be. I don't, like a lot of people, I don't want to see a sequel every 2 years. I want to kind of live in that kind of world for a couple of years, like 2-3 years, like even longer, depending how good the base of the game is at the end of the day and how much you build on top of that. People won't want to leave. Just keep surrounding it with some good content and supporting it on a monthly or even quarterly basis, and you'll be good to go. But look at Assassin's Creed Origins. They're going to add even more content to that, and that has had so much content post-release, yet you go back, 3 years, Rob? Well,
yeah,
they were just churning.
Yeah. Assassin's Creed games and Far Cry games for me have always been they're one and done games. Like, you play them, that's it. Put them down, that's it, done. But they've just completely converted them to like continually updating them, which is just mind blowing.
But like, if you go back to the financial report and that they had, what was it, February time? I think we talked about it briefly, and you find out how many people are playing The Division, and how many are playing. Obviously, Rainbow Six. You got over 60 million people playing Rainbow Six. I think it's like 2.3 million people log into Rainbow Six every single day. But they were like, why? Why are people playing the game? But it's so weird to see a company turn around their basis of how they do things. If you go back a couple of years, Assassin's Creed, they were literally just pumping Assassin's Creed games out on a yearly basis, much like Activision does with the Call of Duty games. The only difference is I know you get different developers for different COD games, and it's kind of the same with Assassin's Creed, but
engine's still the same though.
Yeah, but the fact that they're now taking a break in between, like, it's been like 2-3 year break between the last Assassin's Creed game, and now they're going to continue to support Assassin's Creed. We know news of like For Honor, and they're getting dedicated servers now, and that was meant to be dipping down to low numbers, yet it's coming back up with the amount of players that are playing it.
Do you know what I'm looking forward to? The Crew 2.
I know we've slammed it before, but I'm interested. I definitely they blew me away with the trailer, so I want to see. I want to see what they're going to do with it. Dude. Nice.
I know.
Are you looking forward to the Crew 2? Because Luke, because I know you play Gran Turismo.
I mean, I'll maybe check it out. I'm really indifferent to it, to be honest. I didn't play the first one, so I wouldn't really know what to expect. But I mean, yeah, I've been a big fan of the Gran Turismo title since PlayStation 1 days. So, yeah, I mean, driving games aren't necessarily, racing games, whatever you want to call them, aren't necessarily what I spend a lot of time in anymore. But, I'd check it out if it's a good game.
Did you ever own a steering wheel?
No. I own an
Gran
actual
Turismo one as well.
I own an actual car that's got a steering wheel in it, if that counts.
It's not the same, is it? I mean, it doesn't stick to your desk. You don't have fake plastic pedals.
You not got one in the back of your car, Rob?
And it doesn't have, what's it called? Force feedback? That's what they used to call it.
That just sounds wrong.
Building on this, do you think that Division 2 will have a constant PTS? Like a lot of live games do nowadays.
When you say a constant PTS, do you mean it's turned on all the time, or they just...
It's just there. It's just there to be tested.
No.
24/7.
I think they'll follow the Siege...
And they just update it.
Path, because they turn the TTS off on that, don't they, between updates, and then turn it back on again and just say...
Okay.
I think so. I might be wrong. I'm open to correction on that, but I seem to remember when I logged into Siege a couple of days ago, it said the TTS was coming soon. Because they're changing the...
I know they've just updated it because they've done some tweaks.
Yeah, they're changing the recoil and stuff, aren't they? So, I guess that's something to do with it, but I don't know.
But it's definitely a path they can take, can't they? Maybe having the PTS live constantly in the future, but only certain amount of people or set people are actually allowed to use it. So we don't have all the issues with getting all the people in. We're 2 years in, and I know a lot of people wanted to try out console PTS and things like that, but if it means they can turn the patches around a little bit quicker, I'm fine with that now. If the amount, I know people
you're fine with that now. You play on PC.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, maybe that's the point. But you know what I mean? Like we've seen people like load into the PTS and they're just using OP stuff for the entire time. They're wasting what that intention is.
I think
actually testing.
I think we said after the debacle of the first console PTS, didn't we, that it wasn't particularly a great idea. I mean, I'm grateful that they took the time and the effort to actually give us what we were asking for, but it seemed to cause too much of a stink, didn't it? And then it caused too much of a stink the second time round when even more people didn't get invited that said they were going to get invited and all that sort of rubbish. So, and it does slow the patches down, doesn't it? There's no argument against that. So
yeah, there must be some kind of financial thing that's not good about it as well. But I think it needed to happen because it highlighted a lot of differences between the platforms.
Yeah, it was good for that. It wasn't necessarily good for the individual updates, was it? But it was definitely good for bringing up to the fore the difference between PC and the consoles, because it is. I mean, we've said it since we've moved on to PC, haven't we? The game is completely different from one platform to the next. Even the NPCs act different.
Yeah,
it's going to be a very interesting future. Speaking of the future, Massive actually came out this week saying, they're actually we have confirmation now that they're going to support the Division not only through year 3, not only through the Division 2, but for many years to come. And it's a franchise that they love and they're willing to kind of push forward with. And I think going back to the live games service, it is their future. And I think I really hope that the sequel nails it, and not only that they continue pushing forward, putting more content out, but not just content for the sake of it. But the thing is, we don't even at this point in time we don't even know what the Division 2 is or what it looks like. It could be a completely different game.
Luke said earlier the Siege has got a 10-year plan.
True.
So what's to say that Division 2 hasn't got that same?
I think they have to be very wary saying things like that, though. From my point of view, we've been in this situation before where we've followed games that have a 10-year plan or life cycle, and they don't go that well. When you stick to that, it doesn't always work out.
Destiny.
And, being honest, yeah, but being honest, saying that they're going to support it for many years to come It could be 2 years, it could be 3 years, it could be 10. I completely agree with you there, Rob. But if they came out and said, "Oh, we're going to support it for 10 years," and the sequel doesn't do as well, or they have so many issues moving forward, it's kind of protecting themselves a little bit.
Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah,
they're not running before they can walk. Yeah.
Just look at the Ubisoft games that have come out recently, though. You've got Wildlands, huge map. You've got Assassin's Creed Origins, huge map. And you've got Far Cry 5, which I believe, I might be wrong because I've not played any of them, but I believe it's the biggest map of all the Far Cry series. So if they implement that same idea into Division 2 and make it obviously a far, far bigger map than what the Division was, it can easily be supportable for a longer period of time, can't it? So I'm not saying they'll support it for 10 years. I'm thinking more 4 years, 5 years, something like that. I don't think games like The Division and Destiny and that could be supported for 10 years because, you know, the PvE element will dry up eventually. It's just inevitable.
But I think that's why you get the sequels, though, because to change the area, to change the situation, to obviously upgrade the mechanics. You can't change that. And, you know, that's obviously what they try to do with Destiny. I think we're definitely going to see something to do with regards to The Division. And I really, you know, one of the things I want to see, I really want to either see operator-style characters or skill trees. Now, I understand they want you to let your agent go whatever role, etc. But it's those sort of changes that are the reason for making a sequel. Otherwise, we might as well just stick with the same game we've got. But we also know there's limitations, which is why
the longevity of the game is going to be subject to how successful it is. At the end of the day, like if it tanks at release, then I mean they might try and fix it. But they might just, you know.
I kind of disagree with that, because
we do a podcast we want it to be successful.
Yeah. Yes.
But slightly biased for you there.
But something we didn't talk about last week at all. I completely forgot about it. Congratulations to Ubisoft. Vivendi aren't taking over anymore. Shit. They sold all the shares.
Fuck you, Vivendi.
And the reason,
cunts,
you know, fuck you, Vivendi. Damn it. But the reason this is a good thing is
chance.
Vivendi would have come in and basically gone, you know, what's making a profit? From my point of view, they would have gone, what's making a profit? What isn't? We're going to cut our losses and stick with what's good at the end of the day. So the one thing that Ubisoft has under their belt is they are willing to take the time to fix something and make it better, aren't they? And it's been proven. Look at Siege, For Honor, The Division. The Division sold as big as it did, but within a couple of months, lost a lot of the player base. Yet within 2 years, we're getting back up to not maybe the original player base, but definitely back up in high numbers again. So it's shown that it works.
Yeah, they still made money off Division, so...
Yeah, I'm not doubting that.
Vivendi would have been all about the money. Like, so if a game doesn't make money, it's gone.
Yeah,
if a game doesn't sustain money, it's gone.
I don't think we would have seen the live service the way it is. We might have done. I don't know.
Well, like Rob said earlier, it's definitely the live service is definitely a way to make more money because you potentially squeeze every penny you possibly can out of a game without necessarily having to pay as many staff members as you would. I mean, look at, they've said Division 2 is having the most Ubisoft studios work on it ever. But you wouldn't need all those studios working on one game as a live service. Obviously, you'd need all them to create the game in the first place, but then not necessarily to support it afterwards. So,
but
I don't know.
Also, interestingly enough, when Vivendi sold their shares, a company, I can't remember what their name is. You remember, Mike? Has also bought shares in Bluehole and Epic, and basically every other game that has a BR.
For those that don't know what that is a battle royale.
Sorry. No, that's fine. So just that I found interesting.
Well, you never know. Maybe Ubisoft will like, hey, come check out what we've got behind, under our belt. You know how good the Division looks, and we've always said before, the Division with a battle royale style survival mode would be pretty cool. And Ubisoft have took note before. I'm pretty sure we've discussed it on the podcast. They know how well battle royale modes are doing. They will be looking at other games to see what is working, what isn't working. Fortnite hitting, what was it, 1 million or 1.1 million Twitch views.
Were they all watching Ninja by any chance?
And Drake.
They're watching Rob.
Yeah, I don't play that silly game. But that Fortnite has an interesting model though, like the business model, because it's a free game, yet it's still making a lot of money.
Off the back of the Battle Royale being free, I can name 4 people that went and paid for the game afterwards. So right there, you're making money, aren't you? So
but
plus the battle passes as well.
I was going to say, if they did something similar with the Division, you have the main game, the main concepts, you have all the bit that we love, but then you can bring other people in on a battle royale mode.
Fortnite
would be pretty cool.
Fortnite is essentially like subscription based now. If you're paying for the battle passes, you're subscribing. It's like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we've said before, massive, we will buy a subscription for the Division.
Fucking do it. Call it something else. Doesn't have to be called a subscription. Just call it someone else. I mean, Siege pretty much does it.
I hope they give us the release date in plenty of warning, because I'm by the sounds of it, I'm wanting to save up, because we're going to have to buy it on PlayStation 4 with a Season Pass Special Edition. I have to buy it on PC with a Season Pass Special Edition. Subscription on PS4. Subscription on PC. Pay for my PlayStation Live account, or PlayStation Plus, whatever the fuck it's called. And then I need to take 2 weeks off. 2 weeks off work to play it.
4 weeks off because you got to play two platforms.
4 weeks off, yeah, quite right. Need to get the story done so we can talk about it in the podcast. So, rip.
But I think it's pretty safe to say from talking about it today that we're pretty happy with the ideology that they are taking everything that they've learned over the past 2 years with the Division, and they're committing to the Division for the future. At the end
That's
of the
what
day.
we said from day dot, though, isn't it? Not to be harsh, but you can forgive every mistake that Ubisoft and Massive made with the Division, because it's a game, obviously, that they've not really made this style of before. Certainly not this complicated before. And then, obviously, if they learn from those mistakes and make the Division 2 almost as perfect as it could possibly be, then lessons learned and all is forgiven, and we'll love you forever. I mean, we'll love you forever anyway, but.
I've got to be honest.
Exactly.
I think that is the downfall of Destiny, though, is the fact that Bungie are such a well-known company, and they've made games. They made the Halo series, and they learnt from that, and they then turned it into a looter shooter MMO RPG, whatever you want to call it, and then did a really good job. But they failed at the beginning, and people let that go.
I don't know. Destiny 1 was a very good game.
Not on launch. Not on launch. You ask a lot of people. They made the same mistake twice, unfortunately. But the whole point is, even if it happens again, they are still learning. They've never, I don't think Massive have actually put out a full game for themselves since they've been at Ubisoft. I'm not 100% on that. I'm probably completely wrong, but like the Division is the first big game, and not only for it to be like a huge game, but it's a live MMO RPG service that's just continually running with millions of people. That's how huge a task is that for anybody to take on, let alone somebody that's completely new to it.
Yeah.
And finally, Luke.
Yes.
Would you be happy if there are no downgrades planned for the E3 reveal trailer?
What, from the trailer to launch, you mean?
From the trailer we haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'd be happy, but whoever... I'll be very careful here because I've read the script. Whomever says that they're not going to downgrade it, I would take that with a pinch of salt, even somebody as powerful as the person that said it. Because it's a trailer. It's the very first trailer that we're ever going to see for the brand new game. It's going to be all bells and whistles, isn't it? So...
No, I completely understand. Yeah, at the end of the day, if they show us a trailer, it's CGI, it may or may not look like that. It's just to kind of get the idea across. If we get gameplay,
yeah,
that is completely different. And I think what this is referring back to is just basically people being worried about the 2013 gameplay trailer, and then the game that we got was completely different. And unfortunately,
it wasn't completely different. It was just a little bit scaled back.
Yeah.
I think the difference there, though, is you said the 2013 trailer, didn't you? And then the game didn't launch till, what, 2016? So you got 3 years for them to obviously realise what the creative limitations were, what even the engine limitations were, the engine that has since obviously improved. Whereas with E3 in June, it's going to be a trailer for a game that is potentially coming out within the next 12 months. I say potentially because we don't know, but potentially within the next 12 months of that trailer. So there isn't time for much to change, maybe. That's my take on it.
It depends on console releases, because that's what screwed them up first time.
But for those that don't know, straight from the horse's mouth, Julian Garrity on Twitter did reply to someone saying that downgrades for the future of the Division 2 are not currently planned. So...
Not currently planned. That's as
well. It's not the plan. It didn't say currently planned. That's me changing it.
He would be a good politician.
No, he said that's not the plan. That was the short answer. I just, it's not what they want. They don't want to let people down. I don't even think they let down people in the first place. I just think people had an ideology of what the game was. Like back in 2013, and the fact that games have changed. And I don't want to talk about it because we've talked about it before.
Okay.
But Siege did it, Wildlands did it. Games change, unfortunately. You have to live with it. If you don't like the outcome, then unfortunately, bad luck. The Division is an awesome game. All right, that's pretty much it for Division news this week. That is it for Division news. I don't know why I'm saying pretty much it. Luke.
Yes.
Very quickly, over to you before we head into questions and feedback. You put out a tweet this week asking people what they would like to see on the podcast here at SITREP Radio in the future.
I did, yes. I thought we'd have a bit of a Twitter poll to see what people want now that we're moving into the next 100 or so episodes.
Year 3.
Year 3, yeah. Basically, they want it to stay as it is, but less talking from us three and more talking from special people. So we need to get more guests.
I find that offensive. You don't like my voice?
Your voice is hardly ever on the podcast, dude.
True.
It's just you talking like a robot every once in a while and then sipping on your wine.
Hey, I occasionally come up with amazing ideas, right? That's why I'm here.
Have you got one now?
No.
Rip.
I would say Rob's the glue. Maybe. I don't know.
Rob's the sticky stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Also
Rob's
find
the
that
sticky stuff that keeps us together.
But yeah, hang tight. We have got conversations and dialogue open with some people already about joining us for episodes in the near future. So yeah, we'll
exciting.
Bring you news on that when we officially can. But yeah, it should be good. Should be real good.
Nice. Right. Questions and feedback. This one did come to us last week, unfortunately, before we recorded episode 100.
I get to read this.
I'm going to pass it over to Rob. Yeah. I unfortunately completely forgot to put it in the show notes, but the show ran on for like an hour and 20 minutes anyway, so we're not going to do that this week. We want to go play some games.
This is from Dr. Kirschler. He says, hey, SITREP crew, long-time listener here. With all the best wishes to 100 SITREP radio shows. You're all a lovely bunch of chunts. Yeah. Keep up the good work, and here's to another 100 shows. Cheers, dude. And he also put a PS, which says, will Kevin Spacey be attending your anniversary stream on Saturday? Asking for a friend. He didn't show up, apparently. We did invite him, but he was busy with some children. Shots fired. Mike?
I don't think I can follow that up, dude. It's like we go from that into this. I go from that into like a really freaking awesome email that Chuck Cunningham sent us over on Gmail this week. I'm not going to read the whole thing because one, I would butcher it, and it's pretty personal and heartfelt. But it was basically congratulating us on our 100 episodes. But he did say that he is looking forward to the Division 2, what the podcast has in store for the future. He did also say Germany sounds fun for Gamescom, but unfortunately the wife gave a solid and firm no. Mike.
Sorry. Go on, Mike, go on.
You were sorry.
No. I spoke to Chuck yesterday. When Division 2 hits, he's going to start streaming.
Nice.
I know.
Go for it, dude.
Yes. He's definitely getting my subscription.
To Men's Weekly. I just want to look at Rob think that through. But yeah, he said, keep up the good work, guys, and congrats on the 100th episode. So thank you from all of us here, Chuck.
I want to say thank you as well, because we've all read that email and it was very touching. So thank you for taking the time, Chuck, and your support is greatly appreciated.
Mike, have you sent him the mug yet?
I was just about to say, I have your cup. I found it in my shed because I'm having a bad time in my shed at the minute because it's full of crap my wife puts in there.
My wife?
But I will send it out next week, hopefully. Anyway, over to you, Luke.
We've had another bit of feedback or another email from El Capitan, who wants to know, have any of us tried Far Cry 5 yet?
No.
If so, are we enjoying it? Can't answer that bit.
No.
We have enough games at the moment we don't play, so feel free to stretch out the play on that and let us know what you think and why we should. Don't know. He wants to know how we celebrate Easter as well. Mainly because I've got 4 days off, I'm going to be drunk, to be honest. I'm not going to lie about
that.
Yeah, same. I'm going to watch my kids eat lots of chocolate.
A bit weird.
Well, it's not Kevin Spacey weird, but
I don't know. It's borderline.
At least they're his kids.
Well, it's not good. That's kind of weird. On that point, we should probably end the show
by saying, "Hey, Luke, what are you doing at 12 o'clock tomorrow?"
Playing Division?
No, you're not.
Yeah.
Don't lie.
Hey, Rob, what are you playing at 12 o'clock tomorrow?
I'm not playing anything.
Nothing.
I'm doing a freaking Easter egg hunt.
Robert.
Yeah?
Where can the listeners find us?
You can find us at SITREP Radio on Twitter, Facebook, Discord. Send any questions or feedback over us at the email address at radiopod@gmail.com or via the socials. Also, we post full episodes of our other content every week on the YouTube. Head over there. It's youtube.com/SITREP Radio. Please leave a comment and subscribe and join the discussion over there. That would be great. Thank you. Luke.
Oh, wow. As always, you can find this podcast over on iTunes, Apple Podcasts for iOS, Podbean, Google Play Music, or SoundCloud. You can find links to all of these platforms and more over at mashthosebuttons.com. And please rate, review, and subscribe whilst you're there. Thank you.
The reviews count everywhere. Podbean, mashthosebuttons.com, iTunes. iTunes would be awesome.
Very.co.uk.
Very.co.uk. Apparently, we're on Very now as well. Sponsored by. I'm still waiting for the sponsorship to come through.
It's coming, dude. I've emailed them.
Are they coming on as guests? Unconfirmed. Right. Okay. But yeah, if you could help out with any even putting a rating on iTunes would help us out a lot. We do live stream as much as often, so if you're interested in dropping by and chatting with us whilst we play some Division and some other games, you can find us over at twitch.tv/SITREP Radio and SITREP Radio
Rob.
to check out his streams.
Look at my straight face. Yeah, baby.
If you do find yourself over at mashthosebuttons.com, please make sure to check out some of the other podcasts that are part of the Mash Those Buttons family. Thank you to the Division Elites. Go check out our friends everywhere in the space because
Good job,
things
dude.
happened.
Smooth as fuck, dude.
When you remember you meant to make an edit because shit happened apparently.
Now say catch you later, chance.
Fuck it. I'm out.
You're listening to a Mash Those Buttons podcast. Visit mashthosebuttons.com for a full podcast schedule.
Cargo secure.